How do you feel like it does shape you? Like, how do you feel that you might lead differently or design differently?
It's always hard to self-evaluate, but I definitely have focus and attention issues, which is kind of obviously at school, looking back on my reports, it's quite shocking. But I see it now as kind of pace and the cadence of how I'm getting through processes and ideas. I think that's kind of that instigation that has really helped White Red or helps in business. And we often heard joke between Jesus and I, one of my co-founders, Jesus, he's more of an implementer and I'm more of an instigator. Mm-hmm. And then Joe almost sits perfectly somewhere in between. And that instigation and implementation, you kind of can't have one without the other. Mm-hmm. Because it's just full on instigating and never getting anywhere. It's probably where I would be without that support and help. That's what I think, I found that with being dyslexic, I found that kind of lack of attention span and focus, that you can actually use it to advantage in exploring ideas and testing things. So yeah.
I know what you mean. After like a little bit, it kind of gets boring.
Yeah. It drops off and you're onto the next. Fads I've done, I think my wife was joking once about me. I was desperate to set up a business from an early age. And then, I was almost getting frustrated with not being able to set up my practice quickly. So I was like, maybe I'll just set up a house painting business. And my wife was like, what is wrong with you? Just stick to the path, keep going. Why you don't know anything about house painting?
And you touched on Richard Branson, so I want to pick up on that because you did. I don't know if we will be able to get pictures of version 2 to like share with this podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be wicked. But yeah, how did that all come about? How did you get the brief? How did you get the opportunity?
Yeah, so originally we were introduced into the Virgin team. They were looking at just doing a small refurbishment. So I think we pitched first to help with this very small job. And that then suddenly, they came in and they said, good news and bad news. The bad news is this, we've got to cancel this job. It's stopping. I thought, what's the good news there? And the good news was that they're actually looking at their kind of procuring their own headquarters. But there was a kind of kicker in that is that you have to re-pitch again. And because it's a way bigger job, it's not a given at all that you're going to get this. So it was kind of back to the table with pitch mode again. We were so happy to even got the first opportunity to work for Virgin. And so the second one was really the main pitch, and that's where we threw everything at it. And honestly, it meant a lot to me and also to us as a team. Mm-hmm. I also did the Virgin Startup Accelerator before as part of setting up White Red. Mm-hmm. So we were part of the startup alumni. So we really pitched our hearts out and said we all do everything to make this successful and work. And we are that cheeky startup that you think of yourselves as. It was an amazing pitch process because it was the first pitch where we just did everything we could think of to try and win it. And it was really great when we did win it. It was just so exciting, but we had a mammoth task ahead of us. I think typically what's the biggest point and what some of these clients are looking at as well when we pitch is, are they going to get on well with the team? A lot of projects that we pitch for, they say we want to see some of the team members as well. So, it's very important. We're all, human, and we need to make sure, and especially on construction jobs, it's a long journey. When you do encounter difficulties, you want to hopefully understand that you're going to get on and work well with those people. Yeah. And it works both ways as the client team and consultant team. We got to gel to make it successful. There's also that balance of letting yourself enjoy it. And I think that's what I've started to try and work on a bit more as well, is the reality is that our practice is a lifestyle business. It's not a tech scalable startup that's going to 100x and will you exit. This is a business that we need to enjoy and go on the journey with for our lives, and enjoy the work, enjoy working with the team, and enjoy working with other consultants and suppliers.
Yeah, it's a really good message, not just to founders and directors, but also to everybody. Like, if you're in this, you're in a really enjoyable, you're tangibly making a difference to people's everyday.
Yeah.
And like, it's so much more than just a transaction.
So, I mean, when we've completed, so Richard came and had a look around, and it was myself and Charlotte and our client who showed him around and showed him everything. And it was funny because it was not quite finished. It was just PC day number 3, so practical completion. and all the lights were at 100% luminescence and lux level, whereas they were meant to be tailored and dimmed down, and it's the DALI system which hadn't been set up right. So he's just going around be like, hey, yeah, great, but it's really bright. But like, it's not going to be like this, don't worry about it. He just kept on saying it's really bright, it's really bright. So it was one of those moments you're like, oh, for God's sake, this is more tonight. But overall, he loved it, and it was quite cool because he'd been out the night before with Nile Rodgers and like opening his hotel in Shoreditch, so he's a little bit hungover or tired, and so like,
he thought it was bright.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I should have some sunglasses. But it was really lovely to show him around. It was obviously a dream come true to even meet him, and we sat down on the sofa and had a little chat. And someone said, "You're he's the dyslexic architect," and he actually ended up writing an article about the dyslexic architect that did hit their headquarters. So it was really nice as well because I wrote an article about that on their intranet, and he picked it up and kind of wrote his own version of it as well. And then it was really lovely last Christmas. I came back in January and one of his team got in touch. Oh, so Richard wanted to send you something. And I was like, what? Amazing. And then they said, oh, it's a handwritten note. And it was this amazing card from Necker Island, Sir Richard Branson, and just thank you, Dicky, for our headquarters and your team. Yeah, really appreciate our new headquarters. And it was just like a handwritten note that kind of shocked me that he'd taken that time out, his time, his precious time to do something, so courteous. It was really inspiring about, where he was, of the impact he could have on other people.